Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Mech Lab. Today we'll be going over Triple Strength Myomer and how you can use it to win more games. To understand Triple Strength Myomer, we should first understand what Myomer is. Put it very simply, this is Myomer right here. It's a super strong metallic fiber that is woven into a structure that allows it to act like muscles. The mech has a metal skeleton, but around it is built a bunch of Myomer packets that allow it to move. Here we have a diagram of a warhammer, and you can see that at every point, such as here, or at the shoulder, at the elbow, the knees, the feet, even the toes, all have myomer bundles attached to them so that they can act like a packet of muscles driven by pulleys and all of these little motors, and they allow the mech to move around in a very fluid motion. Here we have a cannon mech that uses Triple Strength Myomer, the Thug 13U. Now, you can see down here in the enhancement section, you have either mask or Triple Strength Myomer. Since these are both things that modify the internal structure of the mech, they cannot stack with one another. And as a note for those of you who are doing a campaign, Triple Strength Myomer can be combined with any of the other kinds of internal structure, just not with mask. But as a heads up, if you are refitting a mech, you're going to have to buy entirely new parts. So the legs, arms, torsos, etc., if you have them in endo steel without Triple Strength Myomer installed, you'll have to rebuy all of them for your campaign mech with the Triple Strength Myomer installed. So what is the purpose of Triple Strength Myomer? Because as you can see here, it does take up some critical space in your mech. In the near future, I'll be going over all of the battle mech budgets. Be sure to tune in for that, including critical space, which Triple Strength Myomer does consume 6 slots of. It doesn't increase your weight at all, it just takes up a little bit of critical space. So why would we want Triple Strength Myomer in the mech? It's because when it's active, Triple Strength Myomer doubles your melee damage. That means that this 80-ton mech, the Thug, that would normally deal 16 damage on a kick, is now dealing 32 damage on that same kick. To activate Triple Strength Myomer, your mech has to be at 9 heat. The other function of Triple Strength Myomer when you get to that 9 heat is that it increases your movement speed by 2. Your base walk would go in this case from 4 to 5. Now I hear you saying, hang on Manny, you said plus 2. Well, because at 5 heat you reduce your walk speed by 1, when you reach that 9 heat and get the plus 2 movement, you actually only go up by 1 movement overall. But that is still pretty significant. It brings you from 4-6 to 5-8 movement, which allows you to get 3 TMM. And even though you can't combine TSM with mask, you can combine it with a supercharger, which will then double your walk speed to find your new run speed. This means that a 4-6 mech with TSM and a supercharger on can run 10, unlocking that further 4 TMM, and getting your beastly melee mech into melee faster. Now, the Thug is actually not a particularly good TSM mech. It doesn't produce enough heat to get to 9 heat freely. In this case, we're going to have to turn off some heat sinks. You can turn off heat sinks during a combat round, and then at the beginning of the next turn, the heat sinks will be off. This does make it a little bit finicky, but it makes it so that some TSM mechs that aren't quite as optimized can still be used to good effect. Now, this is a bit of a more optimized melee mech, the Night Sky 6T. It comes in at 50 tons, which is very important because that means that when TSM is active, it can perform a 20 damage kick. If you kick for 20 damage, it triggers 2 PSR rolls instead of 1 for the enemy. This more than doubles the chances that you're going to knock them down with a kick, because it also applies a debuff to each of those rolls. Now, as you can see, the Night Sky is also not capable of just alpha striking and running and giving itself up to 9 heat. It can use the jump jets to perform this on the first turn, but typically what I want to do with this mech when I run it is we just sit on 4 heat and then use the jump jets to jump behind the enemy and then use whatever weapons we need to in order to get to that 9 heat. Triple Strength Myomer requires it to be active in the turn before you are planning on getting into melee. If you get to 9 heat in the shooting phase but weren't at 9 heat in the previous turn, you will not count as having TSM active because the heat phase happens at the very end of the turn. So if you're going to be getting into melee, ensure that you are at least least 9 heat. Now, what is a real kick in the balls is that once you get to 10 heat, you're immediately back down on your movement again, which means that you really need a mech that is capable of fine-tuning its heat pretty much perfectly every single turn. And while you're at 9 heat, you are also going to suffer a +1 to all of your shooting rolls, which does reduce your overall damage output from your weapons. You have to make sure that melee attack is really going to hit, because if it doesn't, you're really nerfing your own damage pretty badly. So, TSM mechs, are they worth it? I would say that they can be. They have to be used in the right circumstances, and they can be pretty finicky. But if you can make good use of them and get them in and deliver those really powerful kicks, they can make a big difference in your list. They make an excellent distraction card effects because they're super scary. If you can get them into melee and start kicking people for 20 damage, that's huge. People are going to be scared of this mech, which means it's probably going to take a lot of fire, which is why I really despise the fact that almost all TSM mechs have XL engines. The clans never used TSM, they never developed that technology, so you won't see this on the clan side pretty much at all, unless the clan that you're playing has access to Inner Sphere technology. Did I miss anything? Please leave a comment down below and let me know. And while you're at it, let me know what your favorite TSM mechs are. I love melee mechs, so I would be very interested to hear what you would recommend. Please leave a like and subscribe for more BattleTech content, and share this with any of your BattleTech buds. Everything helps the channel, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.